The latest. Thank you for your love and support, and I welcome you all to my channel. And please, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. According to a former South African president, THABO, MBEKI, foreigners are not the problem of South Africa. Our brothers and sisters in South Africa have the notion that it is the foreigners that are causing the unemployment to rise up in South Africa, and that is the reason to which the native South Africans do not have anything to do. But the former president is saying that we are not the problem of the South Africans. The root cause is there. And South Africa, during the apartheid, other African countries came together to support South Africa to gain its independence from the apartheid. And with this reason, Africans will definitely come to South Africa because we are one people. And because of the love we have for ourselves, that was why when South Africa was in trouble, other African countries came to give a helping hand to South Africa. So for that reason, South Africans should always be ready to see the foreigners that they see in their country, the brothers that they see as foreigners. A Chinese, an Indian, a German, an Italian is never a foreigner to the South African, except their fellow black people that they always see as foreigners, and that we are the reason to which they are passing through the struggle, the pain, and the hardship they are going through in South Africa. But South Africans, we, the blacks, are never your problem. We are not the reason to which you have unemployment in South Africa. But the real problem is your oppressor. The same person, you see him as the same, with a different color. We will all travel among ourselves, regardless of what the situation might be. That is why we have South Africans in other parts of Africa.
Got many challenges of the economy here. Unemployment, very serious problem. Economy is in crisis. I'm a former president of this country, and you'll never ever convince me that this economy is in crisis because of foreigners. It's not true. It's not true. It's because there's certain things that have happened with regard to the economy which have produced economic crisis, resulting, among other things, in unemployment. So we've got to solve this problem. We've got to deal with this economy and deal with these problems of unemployment. At the same time, the country has got laws about migration of people. Let's enforce the laws. You can't just come in illegally. Yeah. So the thing about the registration of people undocumented is correct. But I'm saying, like we have an economic crisis, it's incorrect to think that that economic crisis is caused by people who have come from the rest of the world. I'm hoping that, I'm coming back to the matter of the national dialogue, that this matter also becomes a matter of discussion. One of the things that happened, colleagues, very important in my view, is that the continent genuinely took it as one of its responsibility to help us to fight and defeat apartheid. Ordinary citizens would contribute monies to go into a common fund in order to support the struggle here in Namibia and Zimbabwe. That became a people's issue. Wherever you went around the continent, I've got Welile and THABO here, former ambassador. Wherever you went on the continent, 1980, 1985, the focus on South Africa among the ordinary people was very high. The consequence of it is that when South Africa becomes liberated, the same masses, they say, I'm going to South Africa. It's natural. They develop that kind of very fondness and closeness to this country. So we must go to this country. That's the challenge, the real challenge we face. It doesn't matter, I'm saying. It doesn't matter how many electrical fences you build. You are not going to stop these Africans coming here. So our challenge is to say, how do we deal with that reality? And then, my colleagues, you might also remember that a few years back, there were similar so-called xenophobic attacks in Durban. What the provincial government did there was to appoint a commission to go into that, which was chaired by Judge Navi Pillay. You'll find that report on the internet. And they deal with this question. They say the reality of the matter is, you've got many migrants coming from the continent and elsewhere who come here, and there's no way you're going to stop it. The issue is, how do we deal with these things who become new citizens of South Africa, new residents? We've got to find a way of dealing with it. And practical steps, I'm saying that Navi Pillay report is very important. It addresses this question. When we're new in government here, issue was raised about there are many Mozambicans who come across the border and get employed by the farmers in the then Eastern Transvaal, paid low wages, outcompete the South African farm workers and all that. Must deal with this matter. So we agreed, and then a big movement took place to deport these Mozambicans back to Mozambique. I think we continued that program for 2 months at best and stopped it. The reason we stopped it is because the following week after they've been deported, they are back in the country. Or you had Lindela, this place they call Lindela for people who are being deported. Come Christmas time, the Zimbabweans would go to Lindela to say, I'm illegal. So that the government must convey them at its cost, transform them back to Zimbabwe. 2 days after New Year, they are back. How do you deal with this situation? I'm saying that I'm hoping that in the national dialogue there will be a discussion of this. Because certainly, I mean, as an African, I belong to this old tradition. As in our culture, you are never ever hostile to a stranger. A visitor, a visitor who comes and get the best food in the house. It's a frame of mind. I hope that the matter will get discussed and then resolved in that.